Alright, Shalom, Shalom. Alright, it's Brother Anwan from the GMS Charlotte Camp coming back with another lesson through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh by Shemel Shah. Alright, before I get started, I want to start off by saying, Call Halayim, like Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to my apostle elders, a great millstone of type of this truth, and that rule well. And peace and blessings to you brothers out there that's pushing this word in our righteousness and sincerity. To you, I say Shalom. Alright, in this lesson, pretty much I want to go into it because, I found a good piece of information, earlier that I sent to the brothers, man, in my camp, GMS Charlotte. And then pretty much this article, well, not even an article, you type it in on Google and it says, how long has America been a country? All right. And the first thing that pops up when you type that in is this description that says, the U.S. has been at war 222 out of 239 years. This morning, I discovered an interesting statistic. America has been at war 93% of the time, 222 out of 239 years. Since 1776, i.e., the U.S. has only been at peace for less than 20 years total since its birth. And that's a heavy statistic, man, because, the so-called white man who claims to be the chosen people of God, man, they masquerading as if they are the chosen people, man. So if you are the chosen people, then why is the world not at rest, man? All right, because the prophecy tells you that if the children of Israel, are put back in their land, the land of Israel, then the world will be at peace. But it goes to show you that them Amalekites, them so-called Jews that's over in the land of Israel today, man, that they're not the real Jews, all right? They're imposters, okay? Because like I said, man, their seed line goes back to the nation of Esau, man, okay? Edom, which the tribe they come from out of Esau is the Amalekites, man, all right? So historical facts prove that, man, but, a man of wisdom, that has understanding of the scriptures, you don't necessarily need the historical proof to see that those aren't the real Jews, man, because the scriptures give you a perfect description of who the wicked are, man. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go into the scriptures, man. All right, because the scriptures tell you on who these imposters are, man. All right. It tells you who the true children of Israel are, because yes, the scriptures do tell you that the children of Israel will be scattered, man. All right. But there's there's an awakening period that's happening right now because the world has been fooled for a long time. But now the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah has entered back into the earth. Now his true children are waking up and exposing these devils for who they are, man. And that word devil, when you read this, read that definition, when you look the word up, it goes back to the word diablos, which means deceiver, which the world has been deceived by these devils, man, the so-called white man, all right, because they don't want the people, the true people of the book, to wake up, which are these so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, because through prophecy, that lets you know who the children of Israel are, which the prophecies fit the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, man, all right, but like I said, I'm going to the scriptures, man, just to show you that the so-called white man, especially the so-called Jews, are not the chosen people of God, man. All right. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 3. Slacky. Verse 2, chapter 2, verse 9. Slacky. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So we're going to start at the beginning. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. All right, because the true Jews, man, it says that they're gonna have tribulation and poverty, man. All right, which first and foremost we're gonna go into that word Jew, because the Jew, is a derivative of the tribe of Judah. All right, so-called black man. All right, you are the true Jews, man. Which is the respective, the Southern Kingdom, man. So-called Negro, West Indians, and Haitians, man. You are considered the Jews because that's the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man. That's all three of the Southern Kingdom collectively were called Jews back then, man. All right, and just to prove that real quick, before I come back to my point, this is Jeremiah 14:2, and it reads, Judah mourneth, sorry, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Right. It says that they are black unto the ground, okay? Because that word black, when you look it up in the Hebrew, goes back to the Hebrew word kodar, which means dark skin, proving that the Jews are so-called black men, all right? What you will know as melanated, brown, okay? Because there's no such thing as black, man, all right? Black is a code word that these devils and put on our people, pretty much to mock us, man. Because when you look up the word black, it means dead, void of light, which 2/3 of our people are black, man. All right, but the children of Israel aren't black, man. They're brown, but it shows you that the real Jews are brown, man. All right, they're melanated men. But going back, this is Revelation 2:9. It says, "I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich." Right? It says that He knows our tribulation and poverty, man. All right, and what man on the earth, or what nation of people on the earth, has had more tribulation and is in poverty so bad that the Lord has had to say that to acknowledge it, man. All right, that's talking about you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, man. Because our history, we are a rich people, man. But as of right now, we're in a very low estate, man. We're in a terrible estate, man. Because our people, we're in captivity right now, man, and we own nothing, man. We're on the bottom. But that's like that because of the curses that go into the book of Deuteronomy 28, man. Okay? The scriptures tell you that, matter of fact, let me not quote, let me just read it, This is the book of Deuteronomy 28, and this is Deuteronomy 28 and 43. It reads, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." All right. So it says that the other nations are going to be very much high above us, man. Which the main nation that's talking about is the so-called white man, Esau, man, Edom. All right. They're the one that rule the world right now, man. Job 9:24 tells you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. So the so-called white man rules the world. Because you look at the 1%, man, there's nothing but Edomites, man. But it says, "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." So our people don't own no type of economic status. We don't own no businesses. We don't own anything. We don't even own ourselves, man. We're property unto the so-called white man, showing you that we're a poor people, man. But we're rich in the spirit, though, man. That's why the Lord said, "But thou art rich," because when you look at our history, we have a vast history, man, and ultimately, that those riches that it's talking about is the promise, man. The covenant that the Lord made with our ancient forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which has been passed down up to the 12 tribes, which are us, man. Though that makes us rich, man. But the so-called Jews, they don't fit that that scripture, man. Because hey, the Jews are the wealthiest person on they're the wealthiest people on the earth, man. They receive welfare checks every year, man. They own pretty much everything in the world. So how is the scripture talking about them, man? They didn't go through no tribulation. They're not poor, And you got people that watch this, especially Edomites that watch this and be like, well, we had the Holocaust. The Holocaust wasn't real, man. All right, the Holocaust was really, a camp that so-called Jews got put into because they had typhus, man. All right, and so they were trying to get rid of those Edomites with typhus. All right, and the ones that they tried to say they was in the gas chambers and whatnot, man. They had to get rid of the bodies, man, because if that disease were able to spread, man, it would have killed a lot of people. So for them to, eradicate that virus, they had to put those people's bodies in those rooms and burn them, man. But when you look up the actual, art, not artificial, archaeological proof about that, man. The type of gas that they said that was used on them to kill them wasn't even found, man. You know, showing you that the whole Holocaust story was bullshit, man. It wasn't true. It never happened, man. All right, that was a made up story to get the world to help feel sorry for these rats, man. But it wasn't true. All right. It says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Right. The Lord said He knows the blasphemy of them that are Jews, man, because them aren't the real Jews, man. All right. When the Lord said that His people were going to be put back into the land of Israel, man, He said He was going to do that, man. You know, these devils acquired the land of Israel through trickery and deceit, and also by a declaration which they signed and paid for called the Balfour Declaration, man. You know, so through that piece of paper, they were able to migrate into that land and take it over. Now that's where they rule at, man. But you can just tell from the way they conduct themselves that them ain't the real people, man. All right, the Lord says, "I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, man." Because before, the men of the Lord woke up, man, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans weren't calling themselves Jews, man. And we were called every byword under the sun except for who we really are, man. Calling ourselves colored, Hispanic, Cherokee, Blackfoot, Negro, all these different bywords and proverbs except for our true names, which are the children of Israel from whatever perspective tribe you're from, man. So it says, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Right. And the word synagogue means chief house, because the so-called Jews, are the top tribe of the nation of Edom, man. And they are the ones that call all the shots in the world. They're the ones that push this satanic agenda upon the world, man. All right. So that's why the Lord says they're the chief house of Satan, man, because they are the ones that are doing all these things, man. So going back into this statistic, man, it says that the U.S. has been at war 222 years out of 239 years, man. So it says that the so-called white man has not been at peace in the earth for less than 20 years, man. Now, if the children of Israel are really who y'all claim to be, which is a so-called white man, y'all so-called white race or whatever, man, then tell me how the scriptures fit you, man. Because you read the curses of Deuteronomy 28, that's not showing that pertains to you, man. All right. When were you brought up on slave ships and scattered across the four corners of the earth, man? Never. All right. There's no documents that prove that point, man. But you can find out on the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, man. Proving that that's the main thing that shows you that who the children of Israel are, man. Okay. But the so-called white man, he's constantly at war, man. He's constantly, looking to go find a country he can invade. Why? Because he's the devil, man. He's showing you he's the seed of Cain, man. Because we're gonna get that. The seed of Cain was told that he was gonna be a vagabond, right? All right. This is going all the way back to the book of Genesis. This is Genesis chapter 4, in verse 14. It says, "Behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face." Matter of fact, I'll go up to 13. I'll go up to 11. Salaki. It says, "And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth." And Cain said unto the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shah, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me." Right? Because that curse that Yahweh Shema Shah put upon Cain, man, was he stripped Cain of his melanin, man. You know, so now that made him what you know now as a so-called white man. All right, and it says that he made him a vagabond. All right, let's look up that word vagabond and see what that says, man. All right. This is the word vagabond on Google, dictionary. It says a person who wanders from place to place without a home or job, and that's the so-called white man. Because you look up his history, hey, he's pretty much mingled his seed amongst the whole world, man. Trying to take the whole world over, man. All right, because you go back to different parts of his history, man. You know the Khazarian Empire, the Ottoman Turks, the Romans, the Greeks, even to the so-called white man, the so-called Caucasian, what he goes by now, man, But he showing you that the so-called white man is everywhere, all right? Proving to you that he's that vagabond that speaks about, showing that he's a descendant of Cain, man, because the so-called white man is trying to hide himself from the from biblical prophecy, man. So you won't know who the scriptures is talking about when it describes Edom, because Edom doesn't have a good ending when you actually look at the people that's in this book, man. Edom has the worst ending out of every nation on the planet Earth, man. Because Edom's future prophecy is to be put in a hardcore captivity for 1,000 years and then burned, in a giant bonfire, and you're not gonna see no more so-called white people anymore, man. So he's trying to escape from that judgment and hide himself. That's why he went and mingled his seed amongst the whole earth, so that it'll be hard to figure out who we are. That's why he tries to masquerade as so-called as the Israelites, man. He also says he's the so-called Egyptians. He says he's the Germans, the Greeks. He's everybody under the sun except for who he really are, or who he really is, which is the so-called white man, which is Esau, Edom, the Edomites, man. All right, that's where your line goes back to, man. And you so-called Jews have put in various amounts of money and witchcraft to try to hide that from the earth, but the Lord is revealing it, man. All right, which leads me in a precept. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Right. It says that let no man deceive you by any means, man. Because like I just said, the so-called white man is trying to hide himself, in the earth, man. Trying to put everything out to try to hide his true identity, man. That's why there's so many name changes for these different nations, man. Like I said, he says he's the Egyptians. He said he's the so-called Greeks, the Russians, he's everybody, man, except for who he is. But that the Spirit has now revealed that it says, because before I say that, back in the time when these scriptures were written, man, we knew who the wicked was in that time, man. The so-called at the time Esau was ruling as the so-called Romans, man. But we know that those are the Edomites, man, because all throughout their different reigns of history, they always gave a tail sign, which scripture tell you that they was going to exalt themselves as the eagle. Now, when you look at the different flags that Esau flown, what is their main symbol that they always use? The eagle, man. The Greeks used it. The Romans used it. The Nazis used it. Every time Esau came into power, that he always used that same thing, showing you that Yahweh Shema Shah was gonna make it to where who the Edomites were, man. So he can't hide himself. But it says, except there come a falling away first, which our people had to fall away, man, from our heritage, fall away from this knowledge, man. But now the Lord put His Spirit on us to come back into this truth, man, and we're exposing Esau for the devil he is, man. And it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And that man has been revealed, man. Esau, you are the so-called white man. All right, so-called white man, you are Esau, man. There's no more hiding it, man. You are the son of perdition, which the word perdition means destruction, man. You know, it's like get my charger, but you are the son of perdition, man. Because like I said, man, let's pull your track record, man. Everywhere you go, man, you bring chaos and destruction, disease, death, man. You know, because that's what you were created to be, man. Is a damn demon, man. You know, a devil. You were created to be the wicked, man. There's no good in you Edomites, man. Because that's not what you created to do, man. You were created to be adverse to the Heavenly Father, man, and His children, so that we would know what true wickedness is, man. You know, it continue on. It says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called Yahweh Shemel Shah, or that is worship, so that he as Yahweh Shemel Shah sitteth in the temple of Yahweh Shemel Shah, showing himself that he is Yahweh Shemel Shah, because he really views himself as like he is the Most High, man. You know, he as far as referring to this thing about America being at war, you know, as much as they have, man, 222 times out of 222 years out of 239 years, man. You know, showing you that the so-called white man cannot rest unless he's doing something wicked, man. You know, but what he ends up doing, man. You know, if he finds a country that he wants, man, that he'll invade that country. You know, the country tries to make a stand against him. You know, he'll put out these proxy wars, man. Have these militia groups. You know, have sellouts of that nation. You know, come against their government, man. Bring the government down. Put up a puppet leader or a puppet government, a shadow government, Salaki. You know, and that's how they do it. The same way they done with Saddam Hussein. You know, with Iraq. You know, and Afghanistan, man. The same way with Osama bin Laden. You know. And the list goes on, man. You know, and that's what they're trying to do up in the Philippines. You know, and same thing they try to do with Cuba. You know, same thing they try to do with Syria. You know, it's all the same game plan, man. So it's going to show you that that's who that's talking about, man. Because Esau tries to play both sides of the war, man, which he does because the so-called Jews, Amalekites, man. Y'all fund both sides of the war, man. All right, it's been proven to you that you trying to be like the Most High, man. You know, that's why you have these whistleblowers that come out and prove to you that all these different insurrections in the world all stem from America, man. Because it's always some clue that leads you back to America, man. All right, you have what was it, Al Qaeda, which eventually formed into ISIS, man. Those were U.S. Pretty much mercenaries, man. You know, it's different pictures. If you don't believe me, you can look it up, man. It's different pictures, information. Different soldiers that had came out. They exposed it, man. So Esau had the trick to tell you that they was gonna have their tongue fall upon themselves. So you even got Esau exposing Esau, man. Because that's how much the world is in turmoil, man. Because you trying to destroy everything because you don't have a true home. You don't have a true place in this world except for to be destroyed, man. That's your true purpose that Yahweh Shemel Shah created you. He created you to destroy your red ass, man. All right, and you can't get mad at us because we didn't choose for you to be like that, man. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shah ordained you to be like that, man. So if you got a problem with anybody, you better take it up with the Lord, man, because He's the one that did that for you, man. You know. But it says that he sets us up as the Most High, man. That's like I said. That's why you got him invading all these different countries, man. Which got me thinking of another precept. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Start at 4, actually. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." Right? It says that his soul that is lifted up is not upright in him. Because Esau is a proud satanic man, because Esau has been given the power to go and conquer all these different lands, man. Proving, like I said, proving to you once again that the so-called white man is the wicked man. Especially you Amalekites, man. All right, because y'all all do the same thing over and over and over again, man. Because the game plan you're using, man, this you've been doing this since your forefather Alexander the Greek, man. All right. So it says that his soul is which is lifted up is not upright in him, because you see the things that Esau was doing, man. He's invading these different countries and pushing forth this westernized philosophies upon these countries, and in the name of democracy, you know, which when you actually break that word down, it means it breaks down to demon rule, man. You know, because what they're doing is pushing forth wickedness within they countries, man. You giving women rights, man. You pushing homosexuality. You getting the people to turn away from their customs so that you can enforce your rule. Which when you look at the overall picture of what they do, man, they end up breaking down the infrastructure of that country, and the country ends up turning into a wasteland, man. All right, because that same thing they're doing across the world. You see examples of that through what happened in Libya with Gaddafi, man, Muammar Gaddafi. Because Libya was a prospering country before Esau came in there, and now look at it, man. All the natural resources that have been robbed out. Now that's it's a third world country now, man. Same thing with Iraq and Afghanistan. You know that's constant war over there, man, in the Middle East, because those Israelites over there, man, they know you so called Jews aren't the real Jews, man. You know, damn, what's that? We look up the president's name. He even said it out of his mouth, man. And they may have killed him for that, man. But let me find that quote. Bear with me real quick. Because he let it be known, that you so-called white men, over there are not the real Jews, man. All right. Damn, what is his name, man? All right. Until I find it, I'm gonna just say what he said. But he pretty much said that the Jews left black and came back white, man. You know. Here's his name. Gamal Abdel Nasser. He was the second president of the United Arab Republic, and he was the former president of Egypt, man. But he said the Europeans claiming to be Jews are nothing more than Hebrew-speaking Gentiles. The late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, or Nasser, stated on television, "You, the Jews, will never be able to live here in peace because you left here black but came back white. We cannot accept you." And this was in 1952, man. And so these nations know who the real children of Israel are, man, because, like I said, man, the so-called white man is just now, recently came into power, man. But you can just look at the world, man. You can tell that the so-called white man is a minority of the earth, man, because everybody pretty much in the earth is brown, man. They have melanin in their skin, man. Showing you that the Esau is the so-called white man, because Esau was the only one described of not having pigmentation, man. When you read the story of Genesis, man, when you read the whole scriptures, honestly, they don't ever tell you really the skin color, of it being anything other than brown, except for the so-called white man. All right, Esau said he came out red and hairy, man. All right, so that should give you an indicator on who that's talking about, man. But go back to this Habakkuk 2:4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, and neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." Right. So it says that he transgresseth by wine, which is his wicked philosophies, man. His different satanic ways, man. Like I said, you pushing homosexuality on the earth. You bringing GMOs everywhere. You Like I said, you taking the man out of the picture, putting the woman up. All these different so-called Western civilization, Western philosophies, man. You're destroying the world because those people over there on the eastern side of the world, they still follow laws, based off of what they learned from the Israelites, man. You know, it says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. Alright, it says that he's a proud man and never keepeth at home because the so-called white man is in every country just about, man. You look up. Matter of fact, let me look this up, man. Because the United States military is pretty much infiltrated. It's a base in almost every country except for a few countries, man. And you look at the coincidental thing about it, or the ironic thing about it, is the countries that don't have military bases in them is the countries that Trump put sanctions on. He put sanctions on. To show you that it's all tied together as a plot because the so-called white man is trying to rule the whole world through his new world order, man. So let me look up this statistic real quick, man. All right, so hold on, bear with me real quick. All right, it says this is from Politico. It says despite recently closing hundreds of bases in Iraq and Afghanistan, which that's probably bullshit. It says the United States still maintains nearly 800 military bases in more than 70 countries and territories abroad, from giant little Americas to small radar facilities. It says Britain, France, and Russia, by contrast, have about 30 foreign bases combined. So it says that the U.S. has nearly 800, man. Now, if you are the Israelites, man, which I'm gonna get to the point where I'm saying that how that the children of Israel are gonna have peace. I'm gonna get there in a little bit, man. But it says that if you are truly the children of God, man, what do you need to be all over the world in other nations' businesses for, man? Because you are doing that to keep an eye on everywhere in the earth. Because you once again want to be like the Most High and try to be omnipotent, man. But you are just a man, all right? And the Lord is going to show you that soon come, man. Okay? But it says, jump back to the scripture. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, because the so-called white man wants to rule the earth, man. All right? Like I said, that trait goes all the way back to their forefathers, which once again proves to you that they are the Edomites, man. But when you look up the history of Alexander, the so-called Great, which we call him Alexander the Creep, man, because he was a homosexual, man. It says, this is in the Apocrypha, the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just start at the top, man. All right, this is chapter 1, where First Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, which the Macedonians trace back up to the Edomites, who came out of the land of Chittim, and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. Doesn't that sound familiar? Is not the so-called white man waging these different wars across the world, slaying their leaders and putting themselves over them countries, man? That's the same thing that we're seeing now, man. It says, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. Does that not coincide with with Habakkuk 2:4? It says that Alexander the Great, he ruled all of the known world back then, man. Okay, and it said that the earth was quiet, man, because Esau had complete rule of the earth at that time, right there, man. But it said, and I believe this was entering into the time of the Greeks, man. Okay, and it says, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. It said he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him, which once again sounds familiar because what is the elite so-called elite bankers doing, man? They're putting their banks everywhere in the world and making these countries tributaries unto them, which tributary was pretty much equates to them having these nations pay taxes to them, man. All right, and like I said, the countries that don't have the elite bankers banks in them are sanctioned. All right, showing you that the so-called white man, he's very tacky in what he's doing. He's leaving you a paper trail to go after, man. But he that have that eyes to see and ears that can hear can understand that, man. You know. And it says, and after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive, right? And those four generals, I believe, was Ptolemy, Seleucus, Lacemaeus, and what's the last dude? Let me check my notes real quick. Google it. It was Ptolemy, Lacemaeus, Seleucus, and that last one is escaping me. We're gonna get it in a minute, for sure. Cassandra. Okay, yeah, Cassandra, Ptolemy, Seleucus, and Lacemaeus, man. All right, those were the four generals that took over when Alexander the Great died, man. And through the four generals, Esau's seed spread further out throughout the earth, man. All right. It says so. Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. You know, and it says, and his servants bear rule over every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, and so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. All right, showing me that the so-called white man is the wicked man, because it says that when Alexander, the previous four generals, had their different rules, man, that's when evil spread across the earth. That's when Esau started to go within the earth and spread his seed, man. You know, a perfect example of that, you got the Egyptians, man. All right, because people see the Egyptians and automatically assume that they're all black, man. But you have Ptolemy's line, man, which went into Egypt and ruled. He took down the Pharaoh, and he mingled his seed amongst those Hamites, and a good majority of the Hamites over there in the land of Israel, not it's like in the land of Egypt, are Edomites, man. They go back to Esau's line, man. Because just like I said, Ptolemy took over that land and spread his seed out. Now you have a prominent figure which comes from the line of Ptolemy, which is Cleopatra, man. Many people would think that she was black, man, but in all actuality, her line goes back to Ptolemy. So she's actually an Edomite, man, so-called white woman. Okay, but that's just proof, to show you that what that's talking about, man. Okay, but it said the evils were multiplied in the earth. Now Esau wasn't, he had a time where he fell, but then he rose again, man. But that during the time that they fell, when they came back during the Renaissance period, because what ended up happening was they had established the Holy Roman Empire, or it's like the Roman Empire, and what ended up happening was our people, started with Septimian Severus, man. They went and he tore Rome down from the inside, man. Rose up through the ranks and eventually brought down the Roman Empire, which then led up to the Holy Roman Empire, which was ruled by Israelites, man, so-called black people. All right, that's what you have known as the Dark Ages, and we began to rule for a time, man. That's where you have, like I said, the Holy Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, man. During the time of the Dark Ages, that's why they call it that, man. They don't want you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans knowing that y'all ruled during that time, man. All right, but in the end, that was our people ruling during that time when Esau was out of power, man. And what happened, man? Esau, was slaves at that time, and then as they began to rise into power, man, which, like I said, through the Renaissance era, and that word Renaissance breaks down into rebirth. Okay, so they well, that was the rebirth of them coming back into power, and they took our people down, man. You know, and established their rule back, man. And they've been ruling ever since. Like I said, that was the Greeks. You know, that was the brief breakdown of what led up to the point I just read about Alexander the Creeper here, man, in the Apocrypha. Okay, but that the Greeks ruled, and then the Romans ruled, and then you got what's known as America now, man. You know, those were Esau's rulership. You know, at the time we're talking about now, we're still under Esau's rulership now. But proving that, just like I said, who rules the world right now, man? All right, we're gonna get it. I quoted it earlier, but we're gonna get it. This is the book of Job 9:24. And it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Right? The so-called white man rules the earth, man. He rules all. He owns all the gold. He makes the rules, man. So he's the one that's ruling. He's the wicked, man. All right. It says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Because what the so-called white man did during the Renaissance era, man, was go and whitewash all the images of our presence during the Dark Ages, man. That's why you have event or a term called whitewashing, because they had went and took our images and made them look like us, man. That's why you have certain statues you go to. Esau broke the noses off those statues, so you couldn't equate that back to you, because our people have very prominent noses, man. They let us know that we're Jake, man. You know, uh, they took our noble people, our judges, and made them look like so-called white people. All right, our main judge being Yahweh Shah, man, who you ignorantly know as Jesus Christ, man. Scriptures describe him as a black man, and you can find countless ancient artifacts that help prove that, man. Which the main thing that proves it is the scriptures, man. Okay, the scriptures are a defining moment to let you know that's what the world look like, man. All right, but Esau, went and whitewashed our images, and that was part of him, making us fall away, man. Which I'm gonna get that in the pocket for real quick, just to help further prove that point. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 48. It says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." Right. So that what ended up happening was we had a Pope Rodrigo the Sixth, man. His son Cesare Borgia is the painting, the person that you see and as so-called Jesus Christ, man. That guy has lived on the earth. He was a real man. His name was Cesare Borgia, man. All right. Scriptures, I forget exactly what it said. I'm gonna try to find it in a minute, but the scriptures tell you that that Pope Alexander the Sixth had his son, be painted as the Lord, because Cesare Borgia, like you look up the they have a series on I believe it was on HBO or whatever, or on Netflix, called The Borgias, because the Borgias were the first crown family, man. Okay, they are the one that pushed the whole concept about Jesus Christ being a so-called white man. Like I said, it goes back to Cesare Borgia. It's when you see that white Jesus, man. That was a real man that walked upon the earth, man. And I'll tell you, let me get that real quick. So this is the Wisdom of Solomon. This is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 15. It says, "For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices." Right? It says that a father afflicted with timely mourning, that was Pope Rodrigo, Pope Rodrigo the Sixth, man. his son Cedric Borgier died at an early age, man. So what he ended up doing was having Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, go and repaint our Lord and Savior as a so-called white man to resemble his son, so his son could be worshipped as a god, man. You know, and that same image has has made headways in history even to this day. So you got a lot of people that'll fight you tooth and nail for that image, man. That will kill you for telling you that Cedric Borgia is not the Lord, man. You know, so that's going to end. On a deeper note, which I'm not going to really go into it too much, but that Cedric Borgia, that Jesus Christ, goes even further back to Serapis Christus, man. You know, when you get into the topic of reincarnation, but like I said, that's a whole nother lesson. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to stay on my point. But bringing that all the way back to what I was saying, man, since the so-called white man came into power, he's brought nothing but destruction, confusion, death, man. Everywhere he's gone, man. That's why the scripture back in Habakkuk 2:5 it reads, "Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." Right, it says he is at death and cannot be satisfied. And, hey, Esau already has all the gold in the world, man. He rules the world, man. And yet this devil is still not satisfied with what he has, man. He continues to go and take more and more and more, man. Why? Because he's the devil, man. In the book of Obadiah, which I'm gonna get real quick precept. This is Obadiah 1:5. It says, "If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?" And the answer is no, because that's talking about Esau, man. Esau is a leech. He's the leech of the earth. That's gonna go and suck everything from everywhere in the earth, man. Esau sucked out of he's sucking the life out of the people. He's sucking the life out of the earth, man. You know, he's taking all the money out the earth. He's taking all the real food, got it in a vault in their doomsday bunkers, giving the world GMOs. He's poisoned all the water. He's poisoned the air, man. And Esau is a destructive force that will not stop until the Lord takes him out of power, man. Okay, Esau showing you that, hey, you Amalekites, man, you are not the true people of the book, man. You are not the Israelites, man. Okay, and I'm gonna prove that, man. Okay, because you supposed to be put the Israelites are the people who are the Most High. They're the sons of the Most High, man. That's what Israel means when you look up in the Hebrew. Yahshua Allah. He Prince Power. He's the Prince of the Powers, man. We're the sons of God, man. Okay. So with that being said, it would be a certain way that they would be conducting themselves if they were in a ruler seat, right? So let's get some of those characteristics. Number one, this I'm gonna give you 3 cuts to prove to you that you devils aren't the true people of the Lord, man. All right. This is, excuse me, Proverbs 29:2. It reads, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn." Right? It says when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice, man. And there's nobody rejoicing in the earth, period, man. Like, you turn on local news, man, and on world news, there's nothing but chaos in the world, man. All right, you got riots and revolts going everywhere, man. Over in Venezuela, in Brazil, and France, you know, you got insurrections of the people. People trying to overthrow their governments, which majority of that's coming from you Edomites in your geopolitical coverts, man. You trying to play the both sides of the fence type thing, trying to take those people out so you can rule that country. You got bombs being dropped on different countries and people over there in Gaza. Those Israelites, man. They're getting bombed every day over there, man. So ain't nobody rejoicing, man. Everything's dying, everything's sick. There's nothing to rejoice in the earth right now, showing you that the righteous are not ruling. But what happens when the wicked rule? Let's see. It says, but when the wicked rule, bears rule, the people mourn. That's nothing. But that's nothing but what you're seeing in the earth now, man. Straight mourning, sorrow, and and death, man. All right. Like I said, you got those Ishmaelites over there getting bombed to hell, man. You know, they wake up every day not knowing if they're gonna make it through the day, man. You know, going to sleep. They go to sleep getting used to hearing fucking machine gun fire and bombs being dropped every day, man. You know, that's showing you that that's a true state of mourning right now, man. All right, you look over here in America, man. You got obesity at an all-time high, which it leads to bad health, man. Which is a depressive state, man. Everybody's on opioids, man. You know, everybody's trying to kill each other and shit, man. So it's nothing but mourning in the world, man. Showing you that you Edomites, man, don't know how to rule, man. You know, y'all weren't given the proper way to rule because the Israelites, man, they rule according to what the How about Shemal Shah says, man, which is according to the scriptures, man. You know, which prove that. Hold on, let me look. Uh, this is in the book of Sirach. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And like I just read to you in Proverbs 29 and 2, man. Since the wicked are ruling, man, you could tell by the state of the people how who's ruling the earth, man. All right, because it says a wise judge will instruct his people. All right, because when the Israelites rule, man, and we're gonna be ruling the earth under the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh Shemel Shah, so the earth is gonna be at peace, man. All right. It says that the government of a prudent man is well ordered, man. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. So the way that the king is, man, the people will be in a like state, man. All right, because if the king is if he's instructing his people on how to do good, man, hey, they're gonna follow suit from the instruction, man. You look at it as a way as a job, man. All right, you got people set up to lead other people, man. And if the leader is a good leader, man, then his business will run smoothly. Now that's the same thing with a king, man. The king gives out the orders. You have the ones that's under the king that enforce the orders, man, and the people go as such, man. But since the so-called white man is ruling, he's a what's the word I want to use? He's an anarchic, if that's even a word, man. You know, he's an archaic person, man. Pretty much, man. He has no order. He has no restraint, no morals. That's why they have that famous saying about that Satan is Alistair Crowley, do as thou wilt, because they have no ill will or no conscience behind the actions that they do, and because that's how they are, man. That's how the people are, man. That's why you got people committing these satanic crimes, such as sex trafficking, you got child sex rings, man. Like the Pizzagate, you got people doing organ trafficking, which is a real thing, you got all types of bullshit throughout the earth, man. Showing you that that's how the leaders of this earth get down, man. It says an unwise king destroyeth. I'll stop. I skip the last part. It says, "What manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." Which I just explained that. It says, "An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." Right, the unwise king destroyeth his people, man. But you look at what Esau has done to the earth, man. Esau he's destroying the earth as we speak, man. The earth is actually dying as we speak, man. You look at the way the world is, man. Everything is dying, man. All right, the trees are dying, the vegetation is dying, the animals are dying, the people are dying, the earth is dying itself, man. That's why you're seeing all the different disasters that's happening across the world, man. Earthquakes everywhere. You got tsunamis, mudslides. The earth is actually opening up, swallowing people, man. Animals dropping dead out the sky, animals beaching themselves in the ocean. The people are all bugged out, man, because it's an unwise king ruling, man. All right, but it says, through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. All right, so a wise king will keep up the well-being of his people, man. Cause what good is a king if he has no subjects to rule over, man? Esau is destroying all his people, man. So it's not going to be an earth to rule or subject to rule over, man. If Esau was left to rule in this place forever, man. All right, the scripture tell you that the Lord is the speed of times of there would no flesh be saved, man. Because Esau is literally destroying everything that he's touching, man. Excuse me. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, man. And that's why Yahweh Shemal Shai is about to take you Edomites out of power, man, because you're unprofitable to the earth, man. You're literally destroying the Lord's creation, which He made perfect. Going behind Him trying to fix His so-called mistakes, man. Making GMOs, letting the people get sex changes, man. You know, doing these different making these different laws to try to establish your wickedness, man. Because when the Lord finally allows you to get your new world order set up, man, it's gonna be just nothing but wickedness out coming through out there. But the Lord's not gonna let you enjoy that for long, man. Because the Scripture tells you as soon as you about to fill your belly, man, He's gonna cast it upon you. You know. But jumping back, this is it says that the Lord is going to set up one that is profitable unto the earth, man. And the one that's profitable is talking about you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, man, the Israelites, man. We're the one that's only profitable to rule the earth, because when we rule the earth, man, we're gonna rule the earth in total righteousness, man. And that rule is gonna be backed behind the law, statutes, and commandments, and through that, there's not gonna be no more war, man. There's not gonna be no more death, man. Unless we're talking about you heathen, okay? But this is proof. This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Right. So when the Israelites come into power, under Yahweh Shah, which in turn, the ruling seat is going to be set up, on the earth. Of course, Yahweh, then Yahweh Shah, then King David, then the 12, then the 144, and the rest of Israel, man. So that's going to be a righteous ruler, righteous government, pretty much set up, man. That's why that scripture goes back to saying, Sirach 10:1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered, man. And that government is going to be well ordered, man, because it's going to be a chain of command, and that's how you set that. That's how you set a good ruling class government, man. But it says, and he shall judge among the nations. We're going to rule over the whole world, just like the so-called white man has done, but it's going to be in total righteousness, though, man. It says, and shall rebuke many people, because all those that will not serve, Yahweh by Shemal Shah is going to be smashed to the bits with that rod of iron, man. It says, and they shall beat their swords and the plowshares and their spears and the pruning hooks. All right. So these nations are no longer going, will need weapons in that day, man. It says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. There's not gonna be no more war on the earth, man. All right, that's when you're gonna know that the true righteous, who are the Israelites, are gonna be ruling, man. Okay, because like I said, man, if these Jews if these so-called Jews were the true Israelites, man, why is the earth in such turmoil like it is? Why is there still war going on, man? But this right here is the major cut to show you that these so-called Jews are not the real Jews, man. All right. Yahweh Shemal Shah through His Spirit is exposing you devils, man. All right. Continuing on, it said that they shall neither learn war anymore. Why? Because It's not gonna be no more nation try to overthrow another nation, man. Because it's gonna be one leader over the whole earth, man. And that's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. Okay, we're joint heirs with Yahweh Shah, man. So the nation of Israel is gonna rule the entire earth, and it's not gonna be nobody trying to come up against us. Because if you try to buck up, man, you're gonna be smashed with that rod of iron, like I said, man. You know, matter of fact, let me quote it. I'm not quoting. Let me get it, man. This is Revelation 2:27. It says, "And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and the vessels of a potter shall be broken into shivers, even if I have received of my Father." Right? It says we're gonna roll with a rod of iron, man. And you other nations are the vessel that is described about the potter that's gonna be smashed to pieces, man. All right. So it says, read it one more time. "And he shall rule over them with a rod of iron, and the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father," man. So the Lord is gonna have complete rule over the earth, man. And if you don't want to bow down, this is what the Lord also said, man. And this is out of the so-called Jesus Christ mouth himself. Okay, so we get it. This is Salaki. The book of Luke 19:27. It says, but those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay before me. So we're gonna be putting you heathen to death if y'all refuse to bow down to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Alright? And you Edomites are gonna continuously try to rebel, man. That's where we're gonna have our fun in that day, especially you kites, man. You damn rats, man. Alright, we're gonna have fun bashing y'all because y'all gonna have that rebellious spirit because we conquered y'all, man. And don't think you're not gonna try to do like how y'all doing now, man. But the thing about it is, in those times, man, we gonna actually have spiritual power to deal with y'all, man. All right, the Lord's gonna allow us to get payback on y'all, man, and we're gonna have fun doing it. Okay, but before we get to that point, man, the Lord has to take you out of power, man. And how's he gonna do that? He's gonna do that through ICBM nuclear missiles that he has given the technology to these other nations, and they're gonna shoot these missiles on y'all, man. And of course, with Yahweh Shai and the host of angels, we're gonna be doing the same thing alongside the missiles, man. All right, so the Lord has a grand exit for you Edomites, man. All right, you so-called Jews, man. Okay, and I'm gonna prove that, man. Okay, because these nations are tired of y'all, man. All right, these heathen, they are ready for you to come out. You got videos on YouTube now where you got it's one in particular where I remember it was this woman. I believe she was either Ishmaelite or Elamite, but she had the video talking about so-called black men in America. Wake up, you the true children of Israel, man. Come back into your land. You know, you got heathen making videos like this, man, because they're ready for the nation of Israel to come into power because they know when we come back into power, the earth is gonna be at peace, man. All right. Let me get this in the Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 51:7. Jeremiah 51:7. It says, "Babylon have been a golden cup, in the Lord's hand, that have made all the earth drunken. The nations are drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad." Right. It said that you have been a golden cup in Yahweh Shema Shai's hand because he's allowed you to go and build all this wickedness up to where the scriptures tell you that your sins have reached up into the heavens, man. So the Lord has allowed you to get so full of yourself, man, you know, that you think you're not going to be taken down. So when your demise comes, man, it's going to be a grand fall, man, where all the earth is going to witness you fall, man, you know. But it says that you have made the earth drunken, the earth, you know. You have put your push your wicked ass philosophies throughout the whole earth, man. You got all these different religions. You got Satanism being pushed. You got homosexuality. You know, women's rights. And I keep naming the same thing over and over again because this is all off the satanic rule, man. You know, but the nations are tired of you, man. You know, you going into these different nations. You know, everybody has their own customs. Yeah, when you come, man, everybody has to bend to your whim, man. You know, like you got the example of the so-called Chinese, which is Moab, man. You know, Moab and Ammon had their own ceremonial garments that they wear, man. But when they and it means with Esau, they have to, wear the suits and the ties, man. That's Esau's apparel, man. You know, showing you that Esau is the one that's ruling because everybody has to bend to him, man. All right, but it's coming to a time to where you're seeing in the earth, but these other nations are starting to flex on you, Esau. You know, these other nations are showing you that you ain't the big bad bully no more, man. You know, so that leads me to this. This is Jeremiah 50. Slaki, let me get a tissue. Slaki. This is Jeremiah 50 and 3. 23. So like Jeremiah 50 and 23. It says, how was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Right. And that's proving to you that that's talking about the so-called white man in America, because you have what's this Edomite's name? General Wesley Clark. You know, he even said that, when they made the decision to go to war with Iraq, man. You know, they asked him why. He pretty much said that, America is the hammer and these other nations are the nails, man. So that proves to you that it's talking about that scripture, man. Alright? It says, how has Babylon become a desolation among, how was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? Because you're being exposed to be the devil, man. You're exposed to be the base man of the that's bowed in the earth that you are, man. You know? And like I said, you ain't the big bad bully no more. So now you got these other nations with the same nuclear capability that you've been flexing with for years, and that's having the same ones and better. You know, China, Russia, they're banging on you as we speak, man. You know, they dropped the petrodollar. You know, now they have their own currency, so the petrodollar it has little to no value on the market no more, man. You know. These other countries are stopping doing business with you because they see that America is 100% import, man. You know, they don't manufacture nothing. So what money am I making with America to make me keep want to do business with this motherfucker, even though that she keeps trying to come back for more because the scripture describes America as that whore, man. You know, that harlot. You know, so they see that America they're about to take America down, man, which leads me to this. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 17. And it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Right. The 10 horns talking about the NATO, the allies of NATO, man. You know. Excuse me. It says they're going to turn on America and shoot missiles over here, man. Because all these different countries, have nuclear capability now. So all these countries are going to shoot missiles over here because they're going to be tired of America, man. Like I said, you turn the news on every day, just about, man. North Korea is firing off missiles, man, doing nuclear missile testing, and they've already confirmed, and Russia, that they have nukes that can reach over here in less than 30 minutes, man. You know, Putin stays flexing on America, talking about some the nuclear missiles that they have, man. You know, the U.S. defense grid won't be able to stop all those missiles, man. That those missiles can't be shot out the air, man. You know, so they're going to prove it to you that hey, that these nations are gearing up to destroy you, America. All right. It says, these shall hate the whore, and that it shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right. So how they gonna do that? They're gonna do that with these ICBM nuclear missiles, man. All right, because these nations are not arming up nukes for no reason, man. They're not about to put them in no museum. They're about to show them, man. They're about to flex on America. And when that button gets pushed, man, that's end game for America. All right. It's not hard to see, man. Why you think you look at all these different countries, man? Everybody hates America, man. You know, America is known overseas as great Satan, man. You know, these countries hate America, man. You know, all you gotta do is just look up, man. Cause you look at the thing that America's doing to these countries, man. You know, you destroying their infrastructure over there, making them countries into third world countries, sucking all the minerals out the earth, man, out of their area. You know, making the country poor to where hey, they're subservient to Esau now, man. You know, all these nations are pissed at America, all right? And they're mainly pissed about you so-called white people, or not white people, you so-called Jews, man. All right, these Jews are what's really gonna make America be destroyed, man. All right, because they're the most hated out of any tribe of Esau, man. Shit, even the other tribes of Esau hate Amalek, man. That's how you know them motherfuckers is wicked, man. Why? Because they are the chief tribe of Esau, man. They're the most satanic out of Satan, man. You know, if that makes any sense, because these motherfuckers are so much of devils, man, that they got their own people in captivity along with us, man. They got the whole world in captivity, and you still got your own people in captivity alongside the rest of the world, man. That's a devil for you, man, because other nations, we take care of each other, man. You know, even though Russia, you know, is an Edomite, you know, Putin's an Edomite country or whatever. He even had the decency to prepare their people for nuclear war, man. But America, they keep them totally docile, man. You know, distracted with their bread and circus, the NBA playoffs, the Super Bowl, you know, the Grammy, the Met Gala, and all this bullshit, man. That if any type of disaster was to happen, man, hey, these people would be bunked the hell out and going crazy because they didn't have a clue what was going on, man. But that's because hey, the so-called Jews, man, they're the reason for that, man. But they're also gonna be the reason what brings America into this world war, man. That's gonna get these nukes shot, man. All right, let me get this. Salaki. Where's it at? But the description pretty much goes, the least among them, you know, shall bring them out. Because that's talking about you kites, man. Uh, Salaki. Let me try to find that real quick. Damn, I'm having a blank at the moment. Salaki, brothers. Here it goes. Jeremiah 50 and 45. It says, therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon, our America, and his purposes, that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right. So these kites are going to get America bombed, man, because they already know that, you know, like you had a couple days ago, Gaza and Israel were dropping missiles on each other, man. So that's pretty much the start of World War III as we speak, man. And you know that Syria is, you know, they're pretty much allies with Russia, man. You know, it was a Russian base that was getting dropped somewhere near Gaza, man. That they got hit, man. They were shooting their planes down and shit, man. So World War III has pretty much officially started already, man. You know, but you know, any war that Israel gets with, America has to come back up, man. And that's the same thing with Russia. Russia is the big brother to these other nations, man, that America's trying to infiltrate. And they already said if they're trying to infiltrate Syria, you know, Iran and whatnot, man. Hey, Russia's gonna step in and then boom, hey, it's nuke time, man. You know, that's going to show you that these kites, man, are going to get America fucked up because Esau is doing his job so that a policy can take place, so you can be taken down, man. So everything that you're doing It's been prophesied and it's been planned to show that you are the destroyer of the earth, man. You know, you are death, and you got to be taken out of power because you're not profitable to rule, man. All right. So let me see if I had anything else. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, you Edomites, man, starting with you Amalekites, man, you so-called Jews, are the personification of death. All right, you are death, man. All right, you had in the Planet of the Apes, the old one, man. You know, Apostle Gabar always brought out, man. You know, you got that scene at the end when they go, the main character, I forget his name, like Charles Heston or something, whatever his name is. He sees that the nukes got dropped. He finds out that the land in their own was actually America, and he see the nuclear war happened. And what he said? He said, "Man, hey, we done it, man. You know, they finally did it, man. You know, he's crying and shit, man, because he knows that, and when this nuclear war happens, man, that's the end of the world. That's the end of Esau's rulership, man. All right, end of an era. That's what that means when you hear about the end of the world, man. So that word is eon, man, which means era. So it's gonna be the end of Esau's world, man, and the beginning of Israel's, man. All right, but I want to make that point. Like I said, Esau is is the end of the world, man. I might as well end it with that. It's the second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. Matter of fact, I started 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?" All right, when shall be the end of the world and the beginning of the one that followeth, man? All right, because we're at the end of this age right now, man. The end of Edom ruling, the end of the so-called white man's rule, man. It says in the end of our captivity. All right, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, man. We're nearing the end of our captivity, man. Salvation is on the horizon for us, man, to be loosed out of these bonds. But it said, when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau was the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? So Esau was the end of the world, man, the so-called white man. You are the end of the world. You are the end of the known world as we speak, man. But it says that Jacob is the beginning of it to follow, man. Because Jacob held on to Esau's heel when he came out the womb, which was symbolic of us pulling Esau out of power, man. All right, Esau, you are on the way out, man. And it says that because you are the end of the world. Because if you were to continue to rule the world like how you've been doing, there won't be any world to exist, man. So it says you are the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it to follow, man. Because when we get in the ruler seat, man, we're gonna show you how to really rule, man. How to govern the earth and total righteousness and receive the true benefit of everything out of the earth, man. All right, we're gonna show you how to do it correctly. All right. So that is proof unto you, so-called white people, you haters, all you naysayers that try to say that the so-called Jews over in Atlanta, Israel, are not are the real Jews, man. They're not, man. Okay, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, man. We're the real Jews, man. All right. Esau, you were the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, man. Okay. So hey, we got up next, man. All right. So we gotta just stay in the faith. Keep pushing, man. Keep enduring because the Lord is almost here, man. His return is imminent, man. So with that, I'm gonna end it out by saying, "Call Halayim by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Call Das, Double Idols, and all Apostle Ezra, Blade, Millstone, and time in His truth, and that rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect, man. Shalom."